Some of the most meaningful life advice comes from this guy. Seriously. A while ago, my girlfriend handed me this book and told me I should read it, which I did. And since then, it has never really left my mind. Welcome back, I'm Trev, and today I'll explain how Dale Carnegie gave some of the most substantial life advice for social skills nearly 90 years ago. Before we dive into the summary of how to win friends and influence people, I'll give you a short summary of the author's biography. You can follow along with the timestamps down below and also find a written version of this video down in the description. This may be a bit of a longer video, so sit back, relax, grab your favorite drink and follow along. It's 1888 in the US. Dale Carnegie is born into a poor farmer family. The young boy discovers his skill for speaking early in life. Local shows and events motivate him to join the school debate team. After high school, Carnegie goes to attend college, where his parents cannot afford the accommodation, which is why Carnegie rides his horse back and forth from the parents' place every day. And that offers him plenty of time to recite and to practice speeches. College ends in 1908, and Carnegie tries himself in a bunch of jobs before becoming a teacher for public speaking. He works as a salesman, actor, temporarily joins the army during the First World War, and is even a business manager. He ends up teaching at the YMCA. And I know what you're thinking. And yes, exactly that YMCA, the Young Men's Christian Association. There was a whole dispute about this association and the song. It's totally off topic, which is why I won't include it here, but I make sure to include a paragraph about that in the blog article down in the description in case you're interested. Carnegie quickly moves towards his own institute just to serve more students. That is why he founds the Dale Carnegie Institute, where for over 2 decades he refines his skills and his craft before in 1936 he finally writes How to Win Friends and Influence People. I will cover 5 principles out of the book today. This is the first video of 2 parts, where we will have a look at how to handle people and how to make people like you. I've cherry-picked some of the more unique ideas, and perhaps this sparks the interest for you to read the whole book. The craving for attention is in all of us. I mean, I also personally like it when my partner appreciates me and when my boss recognizes me for the work that I do. See, Carnegie says that appreciation is kind of a lure to people that allows you to trigger something that you want. For example, you're an office manager and one of your employees underperforms. We've already covered why criticism may not be such a good idea in this video. So instead, try to acknowledge that employee when they do good work, repeatedly and in front of others. And most likely, something like a human urge will set in. Most likely, this employee will do exactly those activities again to get more of that appraisal and that positive feedback, that appreciation. And also, that makes you, as the person giving appreciation, shine in good light. But your appreciation is only well received when it's honest and sincere. Otherwise, it may backfire. Imagine you're back in school. You get up late, you've overslept your alarm, but you know that your teacher really wants you to be there on time. So you rush, you hurry. Accidentally you spill a bit of coffee on your shirt, so you need to get changed. You rush out of the house, you see that your bike got stolen or perhaps it's broken, so you need to take the bus, but you have to wait for the bus. And somehow this bus also doesn't stop right in front of your school, so you need to run to class. You're 3 minutes late. Your teacher's upset, even though all morning you just did things to please him. See, there you have 2 perspectives. The teacher doesn't know that you tried, and you can't argue with the teacher because you're the one that broke the rule. For such situations, Carnegie offers a quote by Henry Ford from Ford Motor Company. If there is any one secret of success, it lies in the ability to get the other person's point of view and see things from that person's angle as well as from your own. So the mere realization that there is other opinions out there and that they can be reasonable is a huge shift in mindset. And this understanding of people can help you figure out their interests, what they're all about, which is our next principle. Sometimes I like being alone, but most of the times I prefer to have friends around. And I guess that's the same for you too. Sometimes it feels really hard though to find the right friends, to make friends and to make true connections that aren't just superficial. But how do you get those real friends? Well, Carnegie says one very simple thing. Instead of trying to make them interested in you, be interested in them, and that will make them like you. In other words, that just means making friends is being able to help and to invest time and effort into them. That can be an investment into things they like or hate, where you take the weight off their shoulders. And to summarize it in Carnegie's words, an unselfish and thoughtful act. Okay, next up is my favorite, and perhaps that is because I'm really bad at it. I hate remembering names. It stresses me. You get to some event, friends introduce you to their friends, you meet new customers or even colleagues. And 2 minutes after they introduced themselves with their name, it has vanished from my head. That's not good. And on top of that, Carnegie says that a person's name is to that person the sweetest and most important sound in any language. Well, say hello to your phone, or in this case, a notebook, because my phone is recording. That is your secret weapon. That first moment after someone introduced themselves to you, that's when you act. You grab your phone, open it, and just jot down as much as possible you can remember about that person. And boom, like this, you'll never forget. As much as we search that feeling of attention, we really want to feel important. Carnegie says that one way to make a person feel important is to talk in their terms. But what does that mean? Well, you already have a note about a person, where you wrote their name and perhaps what they do and like. And of course, you can and should add to that list. So you can use what you know about that person. So then one day, you're meeting Clara's friend Johnny again. And you could prepare to talk about his dog. You could ask how old the dog is, or whether you could perhaps see some pictures. And that will make Johnny feel important and demonstrate that you value him and his interests. One anecdote that Carnegie gives us and that I really like is an anecdote about Theodore Roosevelt. Roosevelt would always sit up the night before, no matter who he was meeting. It could be a farmer, an important politician, a big businessman, and he would go ahead and study something that the person likes, so that on the day of the meeting, he could have a conversation about it and make the opposite important. Because Roosevelt just knew that this was the way to that person's heart. And to round this one off, we can listen to a quote of Carnegie himself, who says, "You don't need to get something out of a person only to show a little appreciation." And that just shows that appreciation is not a tick in a box to be good with someone. It just shows that this is an important step to being a good person and to treat people around you well. How about we summarize what we just learned from Dale Carnegie? And for that, I'd like you to meet Tom. Tom has just read How to Win Friends and Influence People. And since then, he's been off the hook. Here are the 5 simple things that Tom started doing in his life. First of all, Tom has simply started to tell his colleagues when they did good work. And now, everyone would like to be in a team with Tom. Tom also understood that there's more than one opinion and different points of views, because people just perceive things differently. And sure, his opinion can be correct, but someone else's can too. Number 3, Tom also started to write everyone's birthday down, and now he never forgets a birthday and can always send a nice gesture, a card, or even call. Then, Tom started a list of names with all the people he met, where he simply writes down a few things that he knows about them, so he never forgets their name again. Then lastly, for number 5, Tom comes prepared for conversations. He just reads up a little about the topic that his opposite values the most. So there you have it, 5 principles from this book on good social skills. Not bad for a guy on a horse, huh? And the great thing, everything that Tom does, you can do too. Well, find the link to the book in the description, and do stick around since we are filming a second part on this book, which is more about how to capitalize on these new social skills. As always, thanks for watching. See you next time.